Hello family, I'm James Murphy, the Director of Worship and Arts here at Carolina Missionary Baptist Church. Over these last 16 months, it has been crucial that we continue on with worshiping and blessing the name of God through various digital platforms so that you all at home will enjoy the worship experience just as you would if we were at 9901 Allentown Road. With that came a lot of work and the help of a lot of people. And we took this time to intentionally introduce you to all of our staff and our team here at Carolina that has been essential with helping us to make the transition from in-person worship to virtual worship and soon to be hybrid worship. And we want to invite you into that process. Whether we were recording at Union 206, The Vault, Studio 202, or even at Pastor's and First Lady's house. Don't tell them I told you that. But we've made this experience quite memorable and we want to bring you on as a part of this journey. So join us.
Welcome into the warm embrace. I am Kimberly Lewis, the voice that you hear every single week, either on our announcements or if you call and get our voicemail.
Hi, I'm CHELA McIntyre. I am a marketing and social media consultant for Carolina Church. I also do scripting. I manage the social media team. And I also do web design. I also manage and maintain the app. I am Pastor Moore's personal graphic assistant, and 15 million other things.
I am Sister Jasmine Mills, and I have been working during the pandemic in the finance ministry. So we have made sure that anyone who has requested envelopes has received them, because we know that during this time, trying to manage the online platform was very challenging when we first went home. But you all got it now. And now, those of you who still are in need of envelopes, we make sure that you receive them. And if you do need them, let us know. I've also assisted Digital Pastor Sherman Nelson as a digital worship leader.
My name is Michael Jones. I'm responsible for the audio production at Carolina Church. As the audio engineer, I'm responsible for the weekly podcast, setting it up to Sanctuary, and multi-tracking the live recording.
Hello, I'm Associate Pastor Bessie Hayes, and I serve as the Chief Operating Officer here at Carolina Church. However, during the pandemic, I had many roles, one of which was to help work with the TriCaster, which is our switcher, which allows us to display the cameras, what's on the screens. Everything that you see on our broadcast is what the TriCaster does. So that was one of my roles during the pandemic. And believe it or not, I really enjoyed it. In fact, I think I'm going to do that as my next job.
Hello, my name is Jamal Moore, and I am the musical director, which makes me responsible for the musicians and all the musical things that happen at church.
My name is Deacon Yvonne Stanley. In addition to serving as a deacon here at Carolina Missionary Baptist Church, I also serve on the finance ministry. And I want to assure you, as a member of the finance ministry, that your giving online is secure, and we are making sure that your giving is being taken care of properly and securely. So please continue to give.
I'm Brother David McGee.
And I'm Sister Patricia McGee.
We're Circle of Lights leaders.
We also serve on the media team.
And we operate the cameras and switch behind the scenes.
Hello, my name is Sister DELMARIE HINES. I am the Executive Assistant to Pastor and First Lady Moore. During our pandemic period, a lot of my focus has been on scheduling and calendaring, making sure our staff and team are informed of who's preaching when, what service is live, what service is pre-recorded. I'm sure you can imagine that takes a lot of coordination to make sure we're all on the same page. I work with Brother Ron to make sure that Pastor knows what he needs to do when he's re-recording. And I also operate the teleprompter, which you all probably don't even know about. So I'm running this little screen so that Pastor's sermon is on the screen. And that has been a new addition to my tasks. And it's fun. It's fun. It's a lot of responsibility to make sure that, you know, his words are showing up correctly as he's preaching. So that has been a lot of my focus has been on coordination, just scheduling, coordinating, making sure everyone's informed of what we need to be informed of, doing the agenda for our staff meetings to making sure that we're all online together and knowing what we're going to be talking about, and working with Pastor Sherman and Pastor Moore, working with James, working with Ron, working with First Lady, doing all these things to make sure that we're all on the same page. That has been my focus.
Marlon, leader of photography ministry, along with Catherine Mason and Karen McCoy. Photography service can and should be viewed as worship. We use our gifts and ability that God has given us to bless the body of Christ and to spread His name. That's important work. That's kingdom work. That's worship.
Hi, I'm Sister BRYANA SPANN. I'm a part of the media team, and on Sundays, I help put this service together in sequential order so that we have a smooth worship experience.
Hi, I'm Yolanda Brown, and I am the administrator of our digital worship team. I support our digital pastor, Associate Pastor Sherman Nelson. My role here is to schedule our digital worship leaders for each service, also making sure that there's a lot of activity going on in that chat. So when you see our different hosts and our different digital worship leaders, that we are engaged with you and just having a good time in our worship experience. I also work with our Director of Worship and Fine Arts, Brother James Murphy, along with our production team, Brother Ron, in making sure that there's just this balance and that we have everyone available for the worship experience. Each Sunday, our team meets to go over everything that happened in the service earlier, and then to begin planning for next week's service.
Hello, my name is Shaun Collins. I am the guy you probably see but never see. I am behind the scenes. I handle the graphics here at Carolina. I handle video production, editing, pretty much anything that's live production-wise or marketing and advertising I have a hand in. So I am a part of the arm of the church that helps the vision of the house come to life.
I'm Minister James Murphy, the Director of Worship and Arts here at Carolina Missionary Baptist Church. During COVID, I wore many hats. I think there's even footage of me like singing and working the cameras at one time. That's how serious it got. It really became, what can you do? What are the resources you can help offer as we branch out into this model that was kind of like the unknown for us? We've always streamed our services, but we had to step everything up to the next level when it came to our presentation of excellence and continuing excellence on each and every Wednesday and Sunday.
I am Digital Pastor Sherman Nelson, and I know you guys see my face a lot because our worship service has three primary parts. It has the praise and worship, Minister James handles that. It has the sermon, Pastor Moore handles that. Then it has another part that we call wraparounds, which includes the announcements, the invitation, the welcome, the mission, all those other parts. That's my primary area of responsibility during the pandemic, is to make sure that we segue from praise and worship into the word and then out of the digital worship experience.
One of the great things about being able to run the TriCaster is it helps me to know and appreciate that the Word of God can go to every part of the world just by pressing a button. And it was exciting for me to be able to learn that part of the ministry and then to work in that part of the ministry.
Okay, so as a musical director, we'll record about 10 songs every few months. We'll break them up into 2 weeks. 1 week we'll record 5, and the next week we'll record the next 5. And usually after that, I'll get the individual files because Mike, he multi-tracks. So I'll get the individual files. I go through just to kind of make sure everything's cool as far as the edits, if there are any edits with the band and with the vocals, because we always wanted to sound great and polished. And then once I'm done with that, I might put a little pre-mix on it just to kind of give it a start to the vision. But after that, I just send it over to Mike because he's the one that goes crazy on the mixing. So
at that point, it's just about how do you kind of recreate the spirit of what already happened? Mm-hmm. How do you get the envisionment of the spirit of the room and the energy in the recording? How do you make something that's so flat, three-dimensional? So basically, I just take the tracks, I import them, kind of listen through them, kind of see what fits where. And then at that point, it's just mixing it to what I feel is a great taste. And then I pitch it back over for some review. And at that point,
it's perfect by then, so it's good. Your explanation was a little bit better than mine. Yeah, you kind of tapped into some other stuff. I didn't say those things, so yeah. When we get off camera, you're gonna have to teach me how to do these things a little bit better.
Oh, no worries. You know, but it's really something you told me. You know, but like even before COVID even hit, you came back to the booth and you were like, you know, your hands are the last hands this thing touches before it hits the world.
Yeah.
So that weight of, you know, in the podcast, how do you make sure that Pastor Moore's message gets across to the world and it's clean, it's clear, and they can hear it, it's consistent with praise and worship? How do you make sure that that gets to the world and unadulterated? So you got to listen to it over and over again. You got to hear it, you feel it. I get so convicted often by, you know, the songs over and over again. The word starts hitting you. You're like, wait, I got to stop because I have to worship. This is no longer just a mix. You know, God's really impacting me at this point. So.
Okay, Mike. Mike is an MIT, Minister in Training. All right, but that's our process. Hopefully you guys have a better understanding of how it works. I mean, of course, we can go into more details, but that's just a brief, detailed overview of how we do things. Cool?
Hello, my name is Danielle Brown, and I am one of the finance leads here at Carolina. And one of the ways in which COVID has impacted us is actually in a great way on the finance team. Carolina is able to provide multiple ways to give online. Not only is it accurate, fast, and secure, but I love it, because all I gotta do is download an Excel sheet. Oh, yeah.
So preparation for Sunday service actually begins at the conclusion of a Sunday service. So after our normal Sunday service experience, we begin strategizing, looking at what went right, what didn't go so right, what can we do better, and that begins the process for the next week. We all have a schedule that we have access to and a calendar. We reconcile who is preaching, what songs are we singing, what are the key elements, who's doing wraparounds, what is our theme, are there any special elements? All week long, we're coordinating between the digital staff, between the audio visual staff, between praise and worship leaders, between music ministry with Pastor Moore, with his schedule, Pastor Bessie. All of these parts come together, and it actually isn't until we get to the building on Sunday morning that we are assured that everything is in place, and then we arrive at the building. Once we get into the building, we have to make sure mics are right, lights are right, that all the sound is where it's supposed to be, all the pre-recorded elements are in place. And as many of you know, just when you begin to depend on technology, technology will go crazy. And sometimes technology lets us down and we have to pivot. We have to find another way to get accomplished what God has assigned us to do for that particular Sunday. Once all the players are in place and everything is in Planning Center and actualized and everybody is ready, we are then ready to deliver the gospel in the most excellent manner possible.
So in preparation for Sunday, we start working on Monday. On Monday, we review social media assets, which include cut downs from sermons, snippets and bites for the week. We also do our announcement repost, which highlights all of the announcements for what's coming up at Carolina for the entire week. We also schedule live producers for upcoming services, as well as push notifications on the app. On Wednesdays, we have our morning prayer. Sometimes we do our Carolina Rewind on Wednesdays. Carolina Rewind is our podcast, as well as our re-air of our services. Throughout the week, our team does a lot. We're constantly overseeing social media as far as posting, as well as engaging and responding to people who are commenting with us throughout the week. We work hand in hand with the digital worship team as far as tech support for anyone who's having issues throughout services. And then on Sundays, it's kind of like the Super Bowl. On Sundays, we are producing the on-screen graphics. We are managing Planning Center, which is our online service flow management system, as well as Dropbox, which holds a lot of our media assets that were created between myself and SHAUN, our editor in Philadelphia. The Pro Presenter team manages in-house graphic support, what you see on screen, and we work hand in hand with the video and media team. So there's a lot of elements, probably like 500 things that go into Sunday service. So it's definitely more than Sunday.
I'm Deacon Cheryl Thomas, and I am the head of the Armor Bearers Ministry. We make sure that Pastor and First Lady are taken care of and meet their needs so that they can minister during the pandemic and beyond. I also am a part of the finance ministry, where we make sure that all giving is allocated and accounted for.
My name is Brother Joe. I work with Ron on the audio. I also assist on running the cameras. I'm very happy with my job. I've been here quite a few years. That's all I've done.
Not only do we do live services, but there are times when we do pre-recorded services. And many people cannot tell the difference. In a pre-recorded service, we have to make sure that all of the praise and worship is recorded in advance and properly loaded. We have to make sure that the sermon is pre-recorded. Sometimes we do it at the church, sometimes we do it at the studio. If we do it at the studio, we have to reconcile traveling to and from there, backdrops, and all of that. Ron and our audiovisual team are absolute magicians, wizards, when it comes to making sure that all this stuff seems seamless. Then we have to make sure that all the other components are there. The offering, the invitation, the welcome, the mission, all of these other parts have to be pre-recorded, and then they have to be placed into a queue so that on Sunday morning we can push a button and it all starts. And you know, like I know, that sometimes you push that button and it doesn't all go, but it doesn't mean that we haven't gone through all these steps. And it still takes a whole week, sometimes 2 weeks, to get all those elements in place. Why? God is worth all the effort.
Hey, what's up, Carolina? This is Brother Ron, and I have the honor of leading our digital media team. As you've seen today, our team has many different components, everything from marketing to visuals to graphics to Pro Presenter to website, audio engineering, podcasting, editing. All of that is what we do to spread the gospel. We want to just say thank you to all the Carolina members, friends, and family that supported our OOS campaign. We wanted to pause and just show you all the new equipment and technology we've been able to put into the church because of your support. Thanks again for all your support, and we'll see you soon.
We were excited to invite you into our world. If you saw anything that interests you and you would like to serve in any of the areas or ministries that were featured today, drop us a note at info@carolinachurch.org and we'll reach out to you. Now back to our worship.